Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the transit moon making a square opposition or inconjunct aspect to one's natal midheaven. And when we're talking about transit signs of the moon, they can be about emotions, feelings, our needs, responses, reactions of the public, sensitivity. And when the transit moon is basically making an adverse aspect to one's natal midheaven, well, this may manifest in the emotions, the feelings, needs, responses, reactions, the public, sensitivity. Those issues may be conflicting with one's career. It could be that the emotional needs are in conflict with one's career. I mean, if you have like Pisces transit Pisces moon going opposing the natal Virgo midheaven, well, that could manifest an example as the emotional needs for kind of just fantasizing, relaxing, meditating, going into your own world as opposed to doing really doing something career related where you're working very industriously or working in some Virgo profession, working laboriously, or it could be some Virgo profession like something that involves extrapolating data or statistics or analysis, dealing with more real life matters as opposed to unreality. But the thing is, if you're, I mean, this transit, I mean, transits that involve the moon, transits of the moon don't don't last very long. I mean, it only lasts, you're looking at about 10 hours on average because um, the moon move, if you're using a 3-degree applying aspect and 2-degree separating aspect, that's 5 degrees total. And the moon moves about 1 degree every 2 hours. So you're looking about 10 hours for the whole transit. But they are fairly frequent, though. They do, I mean, I would say very frequent actually. You're going to get like 5 of them roughly every month because you're going to get 2 squares. You get 2 inconjunct aspects and 1 opposition. The moon, it takes the moon less than a month to traverse, so less than 30 days to traverse all 12 zodiac signs. So it's going to, I mean, you're going to get the aspects. I mean, you're going to get those 5 aspects per month. Um, to your midheaven. And the thing about it is they're not overly significant again because they don't last for a long duration. They are fairly frequent, though in some cases they're going to occur during the time when you're sleeping or for part of the period anyway when you're sleeping. Remember, the transit lasts about 10 hours, and you only got 24 hours in the day, so in many instances you're going to be sleeping at least for part of the transit. Now, going back to this transit, can also be where the moon is about how we feel, our mood, our temperament. We might not feel like working laboriously at this time. Say if the midheaven is in Cancer as an example, zodiac sign Cancer, it could be you know laborious efforts or work involving home renovation or cooking or laundry work as an example, or even in a career. The midheaven is also connected with the father. Well, it's the dominant parent, which is often the father in older people. So it might be a time where you might simply be more sensitive to matters that are connected with these people, or you might feel that these people are not really around as far as support goes, and to be nurturing, to be caring. At this time, you might feel that you're somewhat, maybe away from them at this time, and or it's just something where you don't really might not feel that caring, that nurturing moon energy coming from them at this time. Now, in some cases, you might have a situation. Remember, the moon is connected with the mother, where the mother may be more adversarial toward the father, considering that the midheaven is the dominant parent. And in most cases, it would be the father. Now, it can be a situation too. Where you look at this transit, I mean, the midheaven is connected with our status, reputation, and public image as well. And it may be situation when you have this transit, you might not care as much about those things more so than usual, or it might be where maybe the public in some cases might be having some adverse effect on it, whether it's through gossiping or revealing something about yourself that you didn't want to come out. Basically, it can be, something to. I mean, when you look at the midheaven is also connected with our responsibilities, and it might be harder at this time to actually care for them more so than usual. It can be a time where home and family matters. Um, People you're close might be matters connected with people you're close to home with. Um, it could be a prominent female in your life scheme. Those matters may conflict with career-related matters at this time with your responsibilities. And you might be in like a little bit of a tug of war at this time, but keep with those things. But keep in mind this transit does not last for an overly protracted duration. And our midheaven is also about our notoriety and recognition. Now, in some cases, maybe this manifests in being more sensitive about not getting the accolades, the recognition, the notoriety that one may deserve. It might be, trying to do things maybe you just simply don't care at this time. Remember, the moon is connected with carrying energy. Could also be where, I mean, when you look at this as well, it might be also, I mean, again, that the midheaven being connected with notoriety and recognition. It can be maybe the family, it could be a mother, someone you're close to home with might not be in agreement with the things that you've gotten, maybe some recognition or notoriety for. Maybe it's something negative in some cases. I mean, say if the midheaven is an Aries, maybe it's for being, somebody that's overly combative or argumentative. Um, the thing about this too is that the midheaven is also associated with that side that you can't suppress. So in some cases it can be where the family or someone you're close to home with may not be in agreement with that side that you can't suppress. You might be more sensitive to issues that are associated with that. I mean, say the midheaven is in Sagittarius, it could be somebody being overly reckless, or somebody that's, you could say maybe extravagant or foolhardy or overly daring, flighty. It can also be time to remember that the midheaven is connected with authority figures and attaining authority. So it could be where there might be more emotional, upsetting situations with an authority figure if you're in a subservient or subordinate role at your position. Maybe this time you don't really care about attaining authority. It can be a situation where the moon is connected with sensitivity, and again, you may be more sensitive to these matters, to a situation where somebody has some kind of authority over you at this time. And it might also be harder to really understand how you feel, or describe how you feel about your current position, your stature in life, your career at this time, more so than usual. Midheaven is also connected with the government and politics. So it might be a time where you might be more touchy regarding maybe your perspective on politics, on the government. There might be more emotional, might be political disputes at this time. And the midheaven is also associated with our achievements and accomplishments. So this could be a time where when you look at this, there might be a situation where if you've attained something in your career, and it may be a time maybe you're not really caring about that as much at this time, or if there's a situation where you haven't attained as much as far as your accomplishments go, maybe you're a little more touchy about this, more sensitive, more so than usual. Your stature in life you might be a little bit more upset about or exasperated more so than usual. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now another way this could manifest, this could be a mother, a family member, maybe averse to the career or laborious work that you do. Now, say the midheaven is an Aquarius, as an example. Well, it could be some career in astrology, robotics, or innovation, astronomy, aerospace, computers, electronics, as an example. Um, let's say the moon is also connected with our past memories. Now, some cases, the transit can be expressed in past memories. Maybe it impedes you from attaining success. It could be, say, if the transit moon is in Gemini, as an example, it could be maybe in certain things in the past, maybe you dissipated yourself through lack of an integrating purpose, and then the lack of persistence is maybe in your mind or is in your memories, and it might be maybe giving you doubt in terms of attaining success at this time. Excuse me. Now, another thing, it might be difficult to respond to older people in authority at this time. Remember, the moon is about our reactions and responses. Some cases it could be, or even responding to a dominant parent, which is often the father, the dominant parent, I should say. Now, say if the transit moon is in Virgo, maybe it's due to some worry or apprehension, or maybe you're doing something, some kind of cleaning or organizing, as some examples. Now, you also, at this time, the transit may indicate you're more sensitive to matters that are connected with your reputation, your public image. Now, for example, going back to the midheaven and Aries as an example, it could be maybe being an instigator, overly combative, or volatile. Now, there could also be this case. Remember, the moon, anatomically speaking, is connected with the stomach, chest, and breast water retention. So if you have any issues with those things, they may make it harder maybe to perform laborious efforts or matters in your career, duties connected with your career at this time, trying to accomplish something in general. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.